It's time to slow down now. Let the noise of the day melt away. You've done enough, and you are enough. Right now there's nowhere to be but here, with me. Take a deep breath in, and gently let it go. Feel your body soften, your shoulders loosen, your jaw unclenches. The weight behind your eyes begins to ease. Tonight we sail into still waters, where stories float like candlelight across rippling canals, and dreams drift between the stones of ancient alleys. Let your imagination stretch out, like a sleeping cat in a warm sunbeam. Let the hush of the world wrap around you like a soft blanket. As you breathe in and out, feel yourself gently rocked as if lying in a little boat, cradled by the water. And now, our story tonight begins. Our story tonight sets sail in the quiet hush of medieval Venice. The moon is high, a pale pearl hanging over silver canals, and the city, wrapped in the velvet of night, breathes in slow silence. The air smells faintly of water and smoke, of old wood and flickering oil. Down the narrow waterways, reflections of torchlight sway like golden fish, and one small boat glides through the shadows. At its center, hunched yet graceful, sits an old lantern-maker. His cloak is a patchwork of worn fabrics, deep sea blues and wax-stiffened browns, and his beard is streaked with ash and time. But his hands, oh, his hands move with the elegance of memory, twisting, adjusting, trimming the wicks of lanterns that line the boat like glowing eggs. Each lantern, a delicate orb of colored glass, soft amber, rose red, sea green, and as he lifts a long, slender taper, he touches it to one, then another, and the flames spring to life, softly, almost reverently, as if he is not merely lighting lamps, but awakening sleeping stars. The lantern-maker speaks to no one, and yet the silence around him listens closely. They say, the flame he carries at his belt, a tiny eternal flicker sealed in a brass case, was brought here generations ago by a pilgrim who walked from Athens to Venice, holding in his hands a sliver of the original Olympic fire. They say this fire remembers everything it touches. It stores whispers and dreams and sorrow. And so the lantern-maker never lets it go out. Each night he floats down the Grand Canal, past sleeping palazzos with crumbling lions carved into stone, past ivy-covered bridges that arch like the spines of old cats, past silent gondolas gently bumping against moorings, and wherever he passes his lanterns illuminate not just the water, but something quieter, deeper, the memory of the city itself. A gentle breeze brushes the water, and you might imagine how it feels on your cheek, soft like the hand of an old friend. It carries with it the scent of jasmine and smoke, and the sound of distant bells, faint as a lullaby. In the distance, a lone violin begins to play, its notes barely brushing the surface of the world, a song only those who are half asleep can hear. And the boat rocks gently, left and right, left and right. You can feel yourself swaying with it, light as a lantern, floating in a dream. There is a story the lantern-maker never tells, but the flame remembers it. It is a story from when he was a boy, and he first saw the secret flame. His father had been the keeper before him, and his father before that. One night, many, many moons ago, the boy had followed his father out in the boat, barely able to keep still, his excitement shimmering like moonlight on ripples. He had watched as his father lit the lanterns, one by one, with a silence that felt like prayer, and then, when the boat was full of light, his father had whispered, "Look." And they watched, as the lantern's reflections shimmered across the black water and began to change, not in color, not in brightness, but in what they showed. The boy saw faces, soft, flickering, his grandmother smiling, a neighbor who had passed the year before, a dog he had once fed from his pocket. The flame, his father explained, holds memory. not just light. It carries what the city forgets: the laughter between lovers under bridges, the tears of widows behind shuttered windows, the first cries of children, born to the sound of church bells and rain. And when you light a lantern with that sacred flame, you don't just bring light to the street, you bring the soul of Venice to life. Back in the present, the lantern maker leans back. He exhales, and for a moment he watches the reflection of one lantern. It flickers, then steadies, and in it, a pair of eyes, a smile, a girl from long ago who once waited for him by the well near San Polo Square. He closes his eyes and remembers. Now, as you rest here with me, I invite you to picture the boat, gently rocking, its lanterns glowing like floating stars. Breathe in and out. Imagine the hush of the canals, the rustle of wind through silk curtains, the creak of wood, and the distant voice of water touching stone. You are safe, you are still, you are welcome here. Let the lanterns carry your thoughts away, like fireflies into the dark, to be continued. The boat drifts slowly now, as if the water itself is reluctant to let the moment pass. Above, a stone bridge arches overhead, mottled with moss and time, its underbelly echoing the drip, drip of water falling from iron rings and boat ropes. The lantern maker lets the boat coast beneath it, and in the shadows something stirs, not with fear, but with memory. You see, they say that under every Venetian bridge lives a whisper, not a ghost, not a curse, just a whisper, a memory too light to take form, too kind to be forgotten. And as the boat glides beneath the old archway, the lanterns softly reflect up into the curve of stone, and you might imagine the light catching something invisible. A smile, a song, a secret kiss between two lovers centuries ago, never spoken aloud, but still there, still alive, in the glow, in the hush, in the sway of the boat. The lantern maker looks up. His eyes, like old marbles, cloudy but shimmering, hold the expression of someone listening to something only he can hear. He tilts his head slightly, and if you were very quiet and very still, you might think you hear it too. A girl's voice, a laugh like water in a cup, just for a moment. But then the boat glides out into open canal again, and the whisper slips away. Now, let your own breath follow the rhythm of the water. Inhale with the creak of the oar. Exhale with the splash of its blade. Feel the cool night air on your cheeks, soft and damp, like a silk scarf soaked in moonlight. You are safe. You are floating. There's nothing you must do. Nowhere you must be. Just here, in this gentle river of time. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Feel how the boat sways gently, like a cradle. A lullaby, shaped in wood and wind and water. Some say the lantern maker is always alone, but that's not quite true, because you see, on certain nights, just before midnight, there comes a visitor. She is not seen, not clearly, but those who have looked long into the lantern flames say they've seen her reflection. A figure, robed in deep blue, her eyes the color of moonlight on wet cobblestone, her voice a sigh among the reeds. The lantern maker does not greet her. He does not need to. He knows when she has arrived. The water stills. The air thickens with old perfume, sweet and earthy like violets pressed in forgotten books. And the lanterns, they burn just a little brighter, not in color but in feeling. The flame seems to hum, softly, as if remembering something ancient and beautiful and sad. The woman, if that's what she is, never speaks aloud, but her presence is like a memory returning. And tonight, as the boat passes near the Campo dei Mori, where stone statues of bearded travelers line the wall, she appears again, not in the air, not in the boat, but within the light itself. One lantern flickers, not with fear but with recognition, and the old man, without even looking, says quietly, "You're early tonight." A soft gust of wind stirs the canal. A reply, perhaps. He places his hand on the lantern gently, and the flame steadies, soft, golden, calm. You are still floating, still wrapped in the silence of the city. But perhaps now, you feel even lighter. The boat glides on, the wood warm beneath your fingertips, the scent of oil and wax curling around you. Picture the stars above, not glittering but swaying, as if they too are caught in a gentle sleep. Breathe in and out. Feel your thoughts settle, like feathers on calm water. You are safe. You are loved. You are resting now. Years ago, the lantern maker lost one of his lanterns. It was a stormy night, the kind that comes without warning. The canals were restless, the water slapping at stone like a trapped animal. The wind howled through the alleys, and shutters banged like drumbeats of panic. A gust caught the edge of the boat, and before he could move, one lantern tumbled overboard. The old man watched, helpless, as it sank into the churning black water, its flame still burning, until it vanished. He mourned it, not for its beauty, but because he believed, truly, deeply, that every lantern carried a memory, and now that one was lost forever. Or so he thought. But weeks later, as he passed a quiet bend in the canal near the old apothecary, he saw something. A flicker, just beneath the surface of the water, and when he leaned closer, there it was. The lantern. Still whole, still glowing, cradled in a nest of water lilies like a secret being protected. The flame had survived, and it had changed. Now it burned not with amber light, but with a silver-blue glow, like moonlight caught in a glass jar. He named it Il Ricordo, the remembrance. And from that night on, it was the first he lit, and the last he extinguished, because it carried not just memory, but hope, that even the things we think we've lost may still be waiting for us just beneath the surface. And so now, dear listener, as the boat drifts deeper into the heart of the sleeping city, and the lanterns glow quietly all around, let your mind drift too. Let yourself be light as a flame, soft as a breeze, slow as the oar gliding through the canal. There is no rush, just the stars, the water, the hush, and the stories they carry. Let the world slip away and float into your dreams. To be continued. There is a place along the northern canal, not far from where the old salt markets used to stand, where the wind moves differently. It doesn't whistle, it doesn't moan, it sings. A soft, wavering note, like a bowl rim touched by a wet finger, or like breath slipping through a reed flute left on a windowsill. And the lantern maker, over many years of sailing silently through the city's veins, has come to know that song. He calls it Il Canto del Fuoco, the Song of the Flame. He discovered it by accident on a still spring night many decades ago, when the moon was full and the water lay flat as a mirror. That night he had made a new lantern. Unlike the others, it was shaped not like an orb but like a bell, tall, delicate, with soft curves and an open top. He had filled it with violet glass and gold filigree he bought from an old traveler in Padua. He lit it with the sacred flame, and something strange happened. As the boat passed the northern canal, the flame began to hum, not loudly, not sharply, but with a tone so pure, so soft, he thought it must be a trick of the mind. A sound felt more than heard, like a memory just out of reach. He returned the next night, and again the flame sang, and for years after he returned to that place, always with that same lantern. He never spoke of it, he never wrote it down, but in his heart he knew that song was for him, or perhaps for everyone. Zoom, just heard by those still enough to listen. Now, let your breath match the rhythm of the song. Even if you cannot hear it, you can feel it. A gentle vibration in the chest, a coolness on the skin, a floating warmth beneath your thoughts. Breathe in, slowly, and out, like a sigh slipping through silk. The boat glides over the singing canal, and lanterns shimmer in time with a music only the heart knows. Picture yourself there, the city around you asleep, all windows closed, all voices hushed. The water beneath singing its secret tune, and your body rocked gently, gently, as if the song were carrying you inward toward a place you've always known, but forgotten. Not all his lanterns came from his hands. Some came from stories, from moments, from people. One evening, many years ago, as the last edge of twilight kissed the horizon, the lantern maker paused his boat near a narrow alley. He liked to stop there, to hear the echo of the sea from afar. But that night, he heard a different sound, a child's cough, thin, weak, hidden beneath a pile of discarded rags and old crates. He stepped ashore, slowly, and there, nestled between shadows, was a boy, no older than 7, eyes large and hollow, clothes damp with canal mist, a cut on his cheek that glowed raw in the dying light. He didn't speak. He didn't run. He simply looked up, as if expecting nothing. The lantern maker knelt beside him, wrapped him in his cloak, and brought him aboard. He never asked the boy's name, and the boy never gave it. They simply sat, together, on the boat, the lanterns burning, the city quiet, and in that silence, the boy finally slept. The next morning, when the sun broke gently over the red-tiled roofs, the boy was gone. No footprints, no splash, just a small piece of paper, folded and tucked beneath a lantern. "Thank you for the warm light." The lantern maker read the words twice, then folded them again and placed them inside the hollow base of a new lantern, which he crafted that very evening. That lantern glowed softer than the rest, more gentle. It never flickered, never hissed. It burned with a stillness that felt like a sleeping child's breath. He named it Il Riparo, the shelter, and he kept it closest to his chest every night after. Now, let yourself feel the warmth of that lantern, as if it were right beside you, soft, reassuring, a promise in glass and flame. Let it guard you, just like it guarded the boy. Let it cradle you, like the boat cradles its memories. You are sheltered. You are safe. You are wrapped in stories and silence. No thought needs to be chased. No worry needs to stay. Let the flame hold them. Let the boat carry them. Let the water take them away. Far, far away. There was once a night when the lantern maker thought the sacred flame had died. A storm had battered the city for 3 nights straight. The canals overflowed. Bridges trembled. Wood cracked. And in the chaos of the winds, his brass flame case fell and was lost beneath the rising waters. He searched for hours, then days. He lit no lanterns. He floated not at all. For what was a lantern maker without his flame? But on the 3rd night, as the storm began to fade, he returned to the docks once more, and there, wedged between 2 old wooden poles, beneath seaweed and driftwood, was the case, still sealed, still warm, and inside, the flame still burned, tiny, but alive. He wept, right there, on the dock, in the rain, because it meant something, that even when we believe the light is gone, buried, forgotten, drowned, it is not truly. It may flicker, it may hide, but it waits, it survives, it returns. So now, let your breath grow softer, as if the wind itself were sleeping beside you. Let your thoughts slow, like the ripples left behind by a disappearing oar, and feel the flame, gentle, golden, glowing softly inside you. A memory, a kindness, a story of light that never left. Tonight the city sleeps, the water dreams, and you are floating. The boat drifts toward a quieter part of the city, where the canals narrow, and the buildings lean close, as if whispering secrets to one another over centuries of silence. Here the air is cooler, still, heavy with the scent of old bricks, sleeping herbs, and river moss. And here, there is a window. A small square of warped glass and rusted hinges set in a wall that time forgot. It is always closed, but behind it, always, a candle burns. The lantern maker passes it every night, and every night, without fail, he raises one hand in greeting. He has never seen the person inside, only the flicker of that flame behind fogged glass. But many years ago, someone told him the story. They said the woman behind the window is very old, much older than anyone in Venice now living. They say she cannot speak, cannot walk. But once, she was a singer, the most beloved voice in all of Venice. When she sang at the church of Santa Maria dei Miracoli, the city would fall silent just to listen. Even the birds would hush. But one day she lost her voice. They say she tried to sing, and no sound came out, only silence. Since then, she has never left her room. Only the candle has remained, a promise that the voice still lives inside her, waiting. And so, people began to whisper their wishes to her window. Little things, quiet things, a safe journey, a return, a letter received, a child healed. And sometimes they would find their wish had come true. Not always, but often enough to believe. The lantern maker, when he was younger, once stopped beneath her window in a storm. He was soaked, cold, and frightened. That night the sacred flame had flickered. He thought it might go out. He thought he had failed. So he looked up at the glowing square of glass and whispered, "Let the flame live." The next morning, it did, and he's never missed a night since. Now, picture that window in your mind, its soft amber glow, its quiet promise. Feel the cool air on your cheeks and the hush of ancient stones beneath your feet. You're standing there, beneath that window, and the candle burns for you too. Perhaps you could whisper a wish now, not aloud, just in your heart. A small wish, a kind one. Let it rise like smoke and curl through the night and slip behind the glass. The city listens, the water remembers, and the flame carries it forward. Venice is full of lions, carved into marble gates, etched into coins, molded into door knockers with iron jaws. But none are as old as the sleeping lion of San Pietro. He stands at the end of a forgotten square, his paws chipped, his mane worn smooth by centuries of rain. Children once climbed on his back. Now only pigeons visit him. But the lantern maker remembers the story his father told him. That, inside that lion, hidden within the hollow of his stone heart, burns a tiny flame. Older than the city, older than memory, it is said to be the first fire ever brought to Venice, carried by sailors who stole it from a mountain temple far to the east. The lion guards it, keeps it hidden, because some fires are not meant to light streets, but to warm souls. One night, in the depth of winter, the lantern maker went to the lion. He brought with him a lantern made of white glass, clear as breath on a cold window. And when he stood before the lion, he did not speak. He simply waited. And after some time, a breeze blew, from nowhere, through a city of stillness, and the lantern in his hand, which had not been lit, flared to life. A pale blue flame, flickering gently. He said nothing, did nothing. He just bowed and turned away. He never told anyone what happened that night. But from that day on, his lanterns burned longer, brighter, and with a heat that seemed to know you, to warm you in places beyond the skin. Now, breathe in that warmth. Feel it, not just on your face or your hands, but in your chest, your heart. Let it glow inside you, soft, still. Let it melt the cold corners of your thoughts. No matter how long the night feels, no matter how lost the path may seem, There is always a lion, guarding a flame, and it will wait for you, silently, faithfully, until you are ready to return. There will come a day, though not soon, when the lantern maker will no longer sail the canals, not because of age, nor weariness, but because the time will come for the flame to choose another hand. He does not fear this. He has seen enough. He has lit enough memories. He has whispered to windows and listened to bridges and found light in drowned places. But he knows the flame must live on. And so, each night, as the boat drifts into the deeper shadows, he watches the faces that pass. A baker returning from the ovens, a girl carrying herbs, a boy with paint on his hands, and he wonders, will one of them be the next? Will one of them carry the case at their belt? Will they learn the names of the lanterns? Will they hear the song of the flame? He does not worry, because the flame knows, and the flame remembers. And now, as the boat glides deeper into the heart of the sleeping city, with every lantern aglow, and the stars mirrored gently on the rippling water, let yourself drift too. There is a light inside you, quiet, kind, faithful. Let it guide you now, into your own dreams, where memories are soft, and the night is long, and the flame never goes out. Beyond the churches, beyond the marble lions, beyond even the singing canal, lies a street so narrow, so quiet, most Venetians have forgotten it exists. No maps mark it, no bells ring there. Its only name, passed down in quiet murmurs, is La Via dei Dimenticati, the Alley of the Forgotten. And yet, every month, when the moon is smallest, the lantern maker goes there, not by boat, but on foot, carrying with him a bundle of small, colorless lanterns. They are not like the others, no stained glass, no gold leaf, only plain glass and wire, simple, humble. But within them, a flame that glows the color of memory, soft gray, almost silver. These are the lanterns for the forgotten, and he hangs them gently along the alley walls. One by one, on broken nails, rusted hinges, and the twisted arms of old window grates. Not a sound is made, no prayers spoken, no names called, only the soft click of glass on stone, and the faint hum of the sacred flame as it recognizes something, a soul, a story, a face the world no longer recalls. And when the last lantern is hung, the alley glows, not brightly, but beautifully, soft and solemn, as if the stones themselves remember now. The lantern maker walks the length of the alley once more. He does not cry, he does not smile, but his footsteps slow, because here are those the world has forgotten, but the flame has not. Now, breathe in the stillness. Let the glow of those small, quiet lanterns light the soft corners of your memory. Perhaps there is someone, or something, you've nearly forgotten. A scent, a song, a look. Let the lanterns hold it for you, not to bring sadness, but peace. Because nothing truly is lost, only waiting to be remembered. There was once a mirror, tucked inside an old spice merchant's home near Campo Santa Margherita, cracked, bronze-edged, and forgotten in an attic room. But it held a secret. When the sacred flame was brought before it, the mirror would not reflect the light plainly. No, instead, it would reflect a memory. Not the flames. Yours. The lantern maker discovered it as a young man. He had wandered the home after the merchant passed, looking for old glass to repurpose. He brought one lantern, already lit, and as he passed the mirror, he stopped. In its depths, he did not see the room, nor the flame. He saw his mother, young, singing, tying lavender sprigs with ribbon in the sunlit courtyard of their childhood home. He stepped closer, and the image vanished, just light again. He stepped back, and there she was once more. He returned many times after that. Each time the flame showed him something different. A festival long past, a friend long buried, the moment he first touched the sacred case. And when he brought others to the mirror, it did the same, but only with lanterns lit by the sacred flame. Regular fire showed only glass, but the true flame remembered. The mirror was eventually sealed away. Too powerful, perhaps, too intimate. But the lantern maker kept a shard of it, wrapped in silk, tucked inside a tiny silver box. And sometimes, on very still nights, he'll open the box, hold the shard near a lantern, and close his eyes, not to look, but to feel. Now, I invite you to imagine such a mirror, not large, just enough for your hands, curved and old and waiting. Hold it close to your heart. Let the light of your favorite memory glow within it. It may be a place, a face, a voice. Feel it. Let it rise. Let it flicker. Let it pass. No need to hold tight. Memories are not cages. They are lanterns. Let them glow. Then rest. There came a year when the rains did not stop. For 40 days and nights, Venice lay soaked, gray and glistening, the skies heavy with grief. Streets became rivers, doors warped, and the city moaned beneath the weight of water. The lantern maker stayed afloat. He lit lanterns, as always, though fewer came to see them. One night, as he passed the Basilica of San Marco, he saw a child standing knee-deep in floodwater, cupping something small in her hands. He stopped. She said nothing, but opened her palms, and inside was a tiny flame, lit, dry, alive. She handed it to him and said only this: "It doesn't go out, even in the rain." And then she was gone, stepping into the mist, vanishing like a ghost between reflections. He placed that tiny flame inside a lantern made of water-beaten wood and droplets of sea glass he'd collected over the years. It has never gone out, even in storms, even in winds. He calls it La Fiamma della Pioggia, the rain flame, and he lights it every time the skies darken. Tonight, if rain falls outside your window, or in your heart, remember the little girl's hands, remember the flame that would not die, and know, within you too there is a light that cannot drown. It may flicker, it may sway, but it does not go out. Let it keep you warm now. Let it dry the tired corners of your soul. Let it hold you, until dreams come. Not far from the arsenal, where ships once slept like giant beasts with folded wings, there is a place beneath the water, a room, sunken, stone-walled, forgotten. The fishermen call it La Stanza Sommersa, the drowned room. No one can say exactly what it once was: a merchant's vault, a sea priest's temple, a secret chamber of love. But one thing is certain: its windows still glow, softly, even now. When the tide is low and the moon is new, you might see it if you stand at the edge of the dock, lean far over, and look down, through the shifting weeds, past the sleeping crabs and resting eels. You'll see light, tiny flickers, lanterns still burning, as if they never noticed the sea come rushing in. The lantern maker only found it once. He was rowing late, his boat nearly empty, when he dropped a small lantern overboard by mistake. It slipped soundlessly into the depths. He watched, but instead of going dark, it seemed to join other lights below. He leaned over, eyes wide, and there, beneath the rippling canal, was the sunken room, not empty, but lit, by dozens of lanterns, blue, green, gold, floating inside like quiet stars in a forgotten sky. He never tried to enter it, never dove down, never returned with rope or tools, because he knew some places are not meant to be reached, only remembered. And sometimes remembering is enough. Now, dear dreamer, let your breath slow, as if your body were sinking into soft sand. Let your thoughts float, as if drifting downward through velvet water. You are safe here. The current is gentle, the air is warm, and the lanterns glow for you, even beneath the waves. If you've lost something, a dream, a voice, a part of yourself, know this: it may not be gone, only waiting, in its own sunken room, still glowing, still whole. In the plaza of forgotten hours, where no bells ring and time has no footsteps, stands a broken clock tower, tall, leaning, its hands stuck at midnight, always. People pass it without glancing, children throw stones at its base, birds roost in its face, but the lantern maker knows it is not broken, it is waiting, waiting for a moment so quiet, so true, that it can tick again. Once, just once. And what it waits for is the light. Every year, on the longest night, the lantern maker rows his boat near that tower, lights a lantern with the sacred flame, and holds it up toward the clock. And every year, nothing happens, until last winter, when the flame, flickering in his hand, sent out a pulse, a soft wave of golden shimmer that touched the stones, and for just one heartbeat, the hand on the clock moved, from midnight to one breath past, then stopped again. He smiled, because sometimes a single second is all eternity needs. Now, listen to the hush in your room. Feel how still time becomes when we stop counting it. There are no minutes here, no hours, only the flame of now. Tick, tock, let it fade. Let your breath become your only measure. Let yourself float in timelessness. No pressure, no rush. You are safe, held in the hands of stillness. And the clock can wait, as long as you need. In a hidden inlet where reeds sway like whispering dancers, there lies a second boat. Not the one the lantern maker rows. This one is older, smaller. Tied to a post so old, moss grows in the wood grain like veins. No one knows where it came from, but every now and then someone sees it move, not far, just a sway, an inch, like something remembering motion. The lantern maker visits it once each season. He says nothing, brings nothing. He only stands by its side, places his hand on the rim, and closes his eyes. Some say it belonged to his father. Others say it was his first boat, the one that carried him when he first received the flame. But the truth? It was never his. It is the boat that waits, for the one who will come after. He keeps a single lantern hanging on its bow, lit once a year, a promise that someone will sit there again, and the canals will know a new name. Now, if you ever feel forgotten, or uncertain, or small, remember the unnamed boat. Empty, yes, but not abandoned, waiting, not for fame, not for glory, but for a quiet hand and a steady heart, like yours. Let that boat drift into your dreams now, rocking, rocking, a cradle for hope, a place for your rest. There was one night, long ago, when the stars refused to shine, no moon, no shimmer, only darkness. The city held its breath. Birds were silent. Even the water seemed unsure. And the lantern maker? He lit every lantern he owned. He floated down every canal, hung lights from arches, doorways, ropes across alleys. And soon, the city glowed, not from above, but from within. People stepped out of their homes and smiled. Children danced under glass orbs that glowed like captured suns. Elders sat in silence, their faces lit softly by golden memory. That night, Venice had no stars, but it did not need them, because the flame, his flame, was enough. And so now, as you lie here, wrapped in your own hush, let the lanterns surround you. Let them hang above your thoughts, float beside your dreams, line the path into slumber. Tonight, there may be no stars outside, but within you, 1,000 flames, all soft, all kind, all still, and they will never go out. There stands a cathedral in the northern quarter, its steps half swallowed by rising waters, its bells long silent. The mosaics are faded, and ivy creeps up the columns like patient hands. But inside, beneath the altar, Beneath stone and dust and centuries, there is something else. A tear, not of water, not of sadness, but of light. They say when the cathedral was first built, a single candle was lit upon its consecration. The flame was passed hand to hand, from priest to builder to laborer, until it was placed within a sealed basin of crystal. A light that saw birth, joy, loss, war, peace, all from behind glass. And one night, many years later, when the cathedral had fallen into ruin, the lantern-maker wandered inside. The wind howled through broken windows. Dust swirled like ghosts in mourning. And yet, there it was, still lit, still alive. He knelt before it, and he did not take the flame. He only bowed his head and whispered, "I remember you." And that night, for the first time in 100 years, the bell above rang once, just once. Then silence. Sleep guidance, memory of light. Now, as you settle into the warm darkness of your room, imagine that tear of light, soft, quiet, undisturbed. Let it sit within you, just behind your chest, a golden shimmer. It does not flicker with stress. It does not rage with fire. It glows, like memory, like patience, like peace. Let that light cradle your breath, in and out. Slowly now. You are becoming still. You are being remembered. It is rare for snow to fall in Venice, but when it does, the city becomes silent in a new way. Sounds are muffled, lanterns glow with halos, steps vanish into soft white blankets. The lantern-maker has a lantern for snow. He does not use it often. It is made of clear quartz, with a single silver thread wrapped around its stem. Within, the flame burns blue-white, cool but unwavering. He only lights it when the snow falls on the canals, when the gondolas lie still, when the air carries silence like a veil. And when he does, he places the lantern at the bow of his boat and lets it float on its own, gently drifting through the city like a ghost of warmth. 1 year a child followed it from window to window, barefoot, quiet. She never touched it. She only watched. And later the lantern-maker found a small paper bird resting at the base of the flame. It read, "This warmed my winter. Thank you." He kept the note, pressed between the pages of his journal, and every time the snow begins to fall, he smiles and lights the lantern again. Sensory stillness, cradled by winter. Now, close your eyes and feel the snow, not cold, not wet, just gentle. Imagine soft flakes landing on your face, melting with the warmth of your skin. Hear the hush it brings, the way it covers the world in velvet. Let your body settle beneath its weight, not heavy, but protected. Let your thoughts slow, like falling snowflakes. Let the winter come. It is not here to harm, only to quiet, to slow, to remind you, even in cold, there is light. Not all flames speak aloud. Some only whisper. There is one lantern, small, old, dented, that the lantern-maker keeps hidden beneath his robes. It does not shine brightly. It does not light streets or windows, but if you place it close to your ear, you will hear it speak, softly, rhythmically, in a language older than stone. He discovered it by accident while mending the cracked base of a discarded lamp. When the flame was lit, he leaned close to inspect the glass, and heard it. A voice. Not one word, not two, but hundreds, all layered, memories, lullabies, the rustle of reeds in a storm, a mother's hush, a goodbye never spoken, the laughter of someone long gone. It does not speak every night, only when it senses the need, and when it does, he listens. He does not interrupt. He does not analyze. He simply allows the stories to pass through him, like wind through leaves. Now, imagine placing your ear beside that flame. What would it whisper to you? Not in words, but in feelings. Let them rise, gently. A softness you forgot, a name you still carry, a moment, perfect and small. No need to understand, no need to chase. Just listen, and let it be, like a lullaby, beneath 1,000 blankets of time. There is a story not even the lantern maker believes fully, a tale of a boat made entirely of mirror, said to sail only once every century, said to appear only when the canals are glass still and the moon is both full and shrouded. Those who have seen it, and they are few, say the boat reflects not just your face, but your future flame, the part of you that has not yet been lit. They say it sails silently, never leaving ripples, never casting a shadow. And if you're lucky enough to see it, and you bow your head in silence, the lantern aboard may flicker once, only once, but in that flicker, a new path is born, not changed, not forced, but revealed. The lantern maker once thought he glimpsed it, far down a foggy canal, but he said nothing, only that, afterward, he began to craft lanterns differently, more delicately, more intuitively, as if he were now following something he did not yet understand, and that was enough. Closing breath, preparing the listener for sleep's embrace. Now, my friend, close your eyes once more. Let the mirror boat drift through your thoughts, not rushed, not seen, just known. You do not need to chase your light. It will come, in its time. Let the flame wait for you, and let this night carry you toward it, silently, safely. Sleep now. There is a house on the edge of the lagoon, wooden, leaning slightly, as if listening to the horizon. No one lives there, no one visits, and yet its windows glow faintly, every dusk. The lantern maker once followed the light, paddling slowly, quietly, past the reeds and whispering birds until he reached its shore. He stepped through the crooked gate, no lock, no door, only the sound of wind brushing gently over water, and inside, lanterns, dozens, all unlit, each labeled with a name, not names of people, but names like the letter I never sent, the day I didn't say yes, the walk I was afraid to take, the dream I let go, lanterns, for the unlived days. He did not cry. He did not light them. He only walked among them, slowly, touching each with a fingertip, and in that moment he understood. These lanterns were not regrets. They were reminders of all the paths we never walk, not with sorrow, but with reverence, because each choice, each flame we don't light, makes room for the ones we do. He left a lantern of his own that night. He named it The Goodbye I Never Said, and he walked away, lighter, guided reflection, letting go of what-ifs. Now, let go of the hours that never came, of the conversations that stayed in your throat, of the road not taken, the door never opened. They are not heavy. They are not failures. They are only rooms with lanterns, still and quiet and filled with grace. You do not have to enter. Just nod, acknowledge, and walk onward. Sleep will carry you forward, gently, kindly. Once, on a night thick with fog, the lantern maker met a stranger by the old fish market. She wore a coat patched with bits of silk and silver thread, and in her arms she carried a basket. Inside, broken glass, worn candle stubs, tiny pieces of mirrors, and a dozen small flasks, each holding a flicker. He asked what she was collecting. Not fire, not light, just what people leave behind. And as she passed, the wind shimmered behind her, and the lanterns near the shore flared slightly, as if bowing. He never saw her again. But sometimes he finds one of her flasks on his boat, filled with a soft, pulsing glow, left beside a coil of rope or tucked between oars. He calls them gifts from the light collector. Atmosphere of wonder, sleep deepens. Now, picture her, the quiet woman, walking through your memories, collecting soft glows, the light left by old smiles, the shimmer of once held hands, the warmth of laughter once shared. She keeps them safe, so you don't have to. You may rest and trust. There is one lantern in the lantern maker's boat that is never lit. Its glass is smoky, its base is etched with looping symbols, and inside, nothing, no wick, no oil, no flame. He calls it La Lanterna dell'Attesa, the lantern of waiting. It was given to him as a boy by a woman with eyes the color of river stones. She said, "It will light itself when you need it most." He has carried it for decades, and it has never once glowed, and yet he keeps it close, because some flames don't burn from fire. They burn from faith, and in this world, faith is its own kind of light. Sleep symbolism, unlit but ready. Now, breathe in and know you are not missing anything. You are not behind. Some lights come later. Some flames take time. You are not late. You are simply waiting, beautifully, perfectly. And the moment will come when the unlit lantern inside you will catch and glow, and you will understand why it took this long. The flame that reflected the sky. Once, when the tide was lower than it had been in a century, the lantern maker found a crystal buried in the mud, clear as frozen air, sharp yet smooth. He placed it into a lantern, not expecting much, but when lit, the flame inside did not shine outward. It shone upward, projecting stars on the walls of buildings, constellations on the undersides of bridges, moons on the palms of passers-by. It was a lantern that reflected the sky, not as it was, but as it had been. One night he held it over a canal and saw the heavens of 1,000 years ago painted on the water. He named it La Memoria del Cielo, the memory of the sky, and only uses it when the world forgets how vast it once was. Emotional calm, sky within now. Close your eyes and let the sky return to you. Not the sky outside, but the one you carry inside. The one filled with forgotten stars, with soft moons and ancient dreams. Let them drift overhead, a silent planetarium in your mind. Each breath is a new galaxy, each sigh, a comet passing quietly through sleep. You are stardust, and tonight you drift among your own constellations. Final whisper for tonight's section. The lantern maker's boat rocks gently beneath a sky of memories. His hands rest quietly on the oar. No need to paddle, no need to speak. The flame floats, and so do you. Let go now. You are safe. You are glowing. You are almost home. There is a lantern tucked away behind the old olive press, beneath stone steps worn thin by centuries of wandering feet. It has no color, no pattern, no decoration, but if you approach, and you are very quiet, you will see it flicker, not randomly, not in wind, but in recognition. Because this lantern, they say, glows only for those it remembers, those whose name it carries. The lantern maker has stood before it dozens of times, but it has never flickered for him. Still, he visits. He dusts its case, polishes its handle, leaves a sprig of rosemary tied in string by the base, and he waits, not in hope, not in despair, but in reverence. Because some lights do not come to us in youth or strength or longing, but only when we are truly ready to know ourselves. Guided whisper, you are known. Now, my friend, imagine standing before this lantern, quiet, still. There is no need to speak, no need to prove. You are seen, you are known. You do not need to light it. It already holds your name, and when it glows, it will do so gently, like a friend reaching out in the dark. Let that knowing surround you now. Let yourself be fully held, and fully welcomed home. The last door. The city of Venice is a maze of doors, tall ones, cracked ones, doors beneath the waterline, doors in places where no house stands anymore. But there is one door, hidden behind ivy and carved stone, that is said to be the first, the oldest, and perhaps the last. No one knows what lies beyond it, but on its surface is carved a single shape, a flame, and beneath that the words, Per chi cammina con luce propria, for those who walk with their own light. The lantern maker found it one spring night, when the stars hung low and the fog curled at his ankles. He didn't open it. He simply stood there, his lantern glowing at his side, and nodded, because the door does not open with keys, or strength, or urgency. It opens only when one is ready to carry the light within. He visits once each year. He leaves no offering, speaks no prayer. He only listens, and in the stillness, he always hears a whisper from behind the stone. You are almost ready. Breath cue, approaching peace, and you. You too are walking with your own light now, even if it's small, even if it flickers. Each breath you take is a step toward that door. You don't have to knock or force it open. Just let your breath and your stillness guide you. One day, when you are ready, the door will open, and you will step inside something you already carry in your heart. The Lantern of Dreams. Among the many lanterns in the lantern maker's workshop, there is one he never takes onto the water. It stays on his bedside table, made of milky glass and lined with soft feathers from the marshes. Inside it, no fire, but a silken thread of glowing sleep. Yes, sleep, not a flame, but the gentle golden pulse of dreams yet to be dreamt. He lights it only as he lies down, and when it glows, he closes his eyes and drifts. To the fields he visited as a child, to voices of loved ones who've gone ahead, to places not of this world, but of meaning. You too have such a lantern. You may not see it, but tonight it is lit, and the dreams it holds are already waiting for you. Kind dreams, restful ones, dreams shaped like lanterns, floating softly through starlit canals. Let them come. You don't need to follow. They will carry you. Sleep entry. You are dreaming. Now you are almost asleep now. Your breath is soft, your thoughts are clouds, and the water below you is still and silver. You are in the boat. The lanterns sway, the city sleeps, and the sacred flame glows at your side. Tonight you are not chasing peace. You are peace. You are floating. You are free. The flame and the silence. In the end, the lantern maker will not leave with a word. He will not shout farewell. There will be no procession, only silence. The sacred case will be passed. The boat will drift. The flame will remain. And the city will continue to breathe, slowly, softly, as it always has. For the lantern maker is not a man, not any more. He is a memory, a rhythm, a whisper in the water. You may pass him someday. On a foggy bridge, in the ripple of golden light beneath your feet, or the quiet flicker that reflects in your window at 2 a.m., when you are lonely, or tired, or quietly smiling to yourself. He will be there, and the flame will know you. Closing drift, final descent into sleep. Now, rest your hands, close your eyes, and know this: you carry the light. You always have. It may be small, or hidden, or quiet, but it burns. And in this stillness, in this sacred quiet, you are held by flame, by water, by night, by story. Let go now. Sleep, drift, glow. There is no record of the lantern maker's first lantern, no sketches, no name etched in the glass, no mention in books or stories passed down by families along the canals. But some say the first lantern was never made. It was found, already lit, cradled in the curve of a half-sunken statue, washed to shore one morning when the tide pulled back too far. The boy who found it, a quiet child with ink-stained fingers, picked it up, and it did not burn him. It warmed him, and he carried it back through the alleys of Venice, past shuttered windows and sleeping bridges, past the bells that no longer rang. He placed it on a stone wall outside his home and left it there. It stayed lit for 3 nights, and on the 4th he touched it again, and the flame leaned toward him, as if it recognized something. He would never be the same, not because the flame changed him, but because it reminded him of what he already carried. And so, He began to make lanterns, not to contain fire, but to honor it, to honor the light that moves through all of us, quietly, bravely, softly. Guided memory, the first flame. Now, imagine you are that boy, that girl, that soul, standing at the edge of the water, and something warm and glowing has drifted into your life. Unexpected, but meant for you. You pick it up. You do not know what it is, but your heart feels still. Your breath deepens, and the flame leans toward you, just like that. You become a bearer of light, not forever, not for everyone, just for now, just for this breath, and that is enough. The dreamt city. They say there is another Venice, one you cannot sail to, one you cannot find on maps. It floats just beyond your sight, a city made of dreams. In this Venice, there are no footsteps, only ripples, no voices, only heartbeats, no walls, only light. The lantern maker visits it in his dreams. He knows every curve of its bridges, every glowing corner of its hidden churches. There, the lanterns do not hang from hooks. They float in mid-air, dancing slowly above the waters, like memories not yet lived. And everyone has their own. Some are bright, some are dim, but all are true. And in that place, the lantern maker is no longer a keeper. He is simply a traveler, floating beside you, nodding as your light flickers on. Now close your eyes completely. You are stepping into the dream Venice. The canals are silk beneath your feet. The air is cool, but kind. Your lantern hovers just above your shoulder, glowing softly, a light only you can carry. No one asks your name. No one needs to. They already know it. Here, you are not forgotten. You are whole, seen, weightless. And as your lantern drifts forward, you follow, into the night, into sleep, into the dream. The last flame. One day, long from now, the final lantern will be lit. It will be small, perhaps a single thread of silver light inside a drop of glass. It will not be hung or held or paraded. It will be placed into the open palms of someone just beginning. A child, a poet, a healer, a soul who sees the world gently, and they will carry it without knowing what it means, at first. But one day, when they need it most, they will feel the warmth, and they will understand that this light did not begin with them, and it does not end with them. It moves, it remembers, it waits, and it lives. Final sleep cue. The end that is a beginning. Tonight, your lantern is lit, even if you cannot see it, even if you cannot name it. It glows within you. It is your kindness, your softness, your wish for rest. You are the flame and the one who carries it. And now, as your eyes grow heavy, as the world drifts beyond the veil of dreams, you can let go. Let the boat carry you. Let the canal cradle you. Let the silence sing you to sleep. The lantern floats beside you, never wavering. You are warm. You are still. You are safe. The lantern maker's final whisper. Light lives where it is loved. And it loves you. Good night, flame bearer. Sleep deep, drift long, and glow always.